Prophet Escapes, 7750 Media. There are two things that the Holy Spirit said to me as I was preparing for the court appearance on the 4th of September, 2025. And it specifically related to the fact that he was letting me know the reasons why I was not going to be granted my petition for the protection order in terms of the Domestic Violence Act. The first thing that was given to me, and this was long before the 4th of September, was the Streisand effect. The Streisand effect is quoted in the discussion about the consequences of the ANC's public condemnation of the Jacob Zuma spear painting. It says that the ANC's public condemnation of the painting brought widespread and international attention to the painting, where otherwise it may have remained a relatively obscure piece of work. The action and subsequent fallout has been characterized as an example of the Streisand effect. And so subsequently, the spear has been featured in editorials and news features in all forms of traditional and digital media. And this is on Wikipedia for those that want to do further research on the meaning of the Streisand effect. And please note that Barbara Streisand is an actress and a singer. Right. The next thing that the Lord gave me, which I didn't even know had become an official thing, was the Ingonga effect. The AI overview on Google says the Ingonga effect refers to a public scandal and subsequent legal proceedings involving Baltasar Ebang Ingonga, a former Director General, DG, of Equatorial Guinea, Guinea's National Financial Investigation Agency, ANIF, who was accused of corruption and faced online disclosure of intimate videos. The scandal highlighted issues of governance, accountability, and alleged misuse of state power as Ingonga was removed from his post and convicted of, or rather for corruption. The key aspects of the Ingonga effect are addressed as follows. Ingonga faced widespread allegations of corruption and misconduct. Secondly, intimate videos involving Ingonga and women allegedly linked to high-profile individuals were disseminated online after his computers and phones were seized by security forces, leading to suspicions of a leak by state apparatus. And Ingonga was criminally investigated and removed from his position as DG of ANIF in November 2024. He also received a prison sentence and a substantial fine. Carefully note that this occurred during November 2024, whilst I was being arrested following threats, intimidations, and being verbally, psychologically, and mentally assailed and abused on the 27th of May 2024. On that same day, I was sent many messages further elaborating on the threats of that day. The arrest in November 2024 was preceded by other intimidations about topics I was discussing on this YouTube channel. The Ingonga case has generated significant discussion within Equatorial Guinea, drawing attention to concerns about ethical accountability within public offices and the country's leadership. It raised questions about the integrity of the nation and its regulatory institutions and governance. Elite Pursuits reports that sex tape star Baltasar Ibang Igonga was sentenced to 8 years in prison, and this headline is posted on the 28th of August. On the africacare.com website. It says Bello, whose real name is Baltasar Igonga, has been sentenced to 8 years in prison for embezzlement. Last November, the senior official sparked an international storm when sex tapes surfaced on social media, rattling the Obiang clan. The article further says that, or rather, under a subheadline reading, an aphrodisiac called Balthazarium. Oh my goodness. The video was filmed at unknown dates in various locations, including his office at the Finance Ministry, featured him with multiple partners, and among them the wives of local dignitaries, and this dominated online chatter. Nicknamed Bello for his good looks, the married father in his 50s is the son of Baltasar Ngonge Edjo, the current president of the Commission of the Economic and Monetary Community of Central Africa, CEMAC. The Bello sex tape scandal shook Equatorial Guinea's political landscape. The viral spread of the sex tapes prompted authorities to throttle internet access in a bid to stem the downloads. The Baltasar effect, however, spread far beyond Equatorial Guinea. Songs, dances, and photomontages proliferated some awarding him a spoof ballon or something of that nature, and others advertising a supposed aphrodisiac called Balthazarium. So I went to the Rudeport Magistrate Court, knowing that the Holy Spirit was working on something else, and it was not about me obtaining a piece of paper called a Domestic Violence Protection Order. The AfricaReport.com website reported on this matter under a heading, Sex, Power and Videos, and it says that Ngonga is just one in the infinite string of those on whom power and money have a Viagra effect. Viagra is a pharmaceutical drug, medicine, to treat erectile dysfunction, as according to the internet, but it has been widely marketed as a sexual performance enhancement pill. I saw a name on my Facebook feeds this morning, and it was Nomsa Sithole Nzima. Nomsa means kindness or mercy. Sithole is the surname of the SAPS detective who has been working with a corrupt prosecutor to bring criminal charges against me. And I alluded to this in a video titled A Sesotho Misogynistic, Psychologically, Mentally and Spiritually Abusive Ritual via the Legal System. Nzima is a word that speaks of something that is very heavy or is difficult, but in certain contexts, it also refers to the burden of pregnancy. The name Nomsa Sithole Nzima is a message that says, the kindness, or rather kindness or mercy, Detective Sithole of the SAPS, heavy, difficult to overcome, or strenuous. This message, or the string of words, can mean two things. Number one, either the Holy Spirit is saying that Detective Sithole was made by the Holy Spirit, who is the agency that is used by God to deal mercifully and kindly with me on the day of my arrest. Because what had been intended by the accusers was to bring me so much difficulty that I would abort the baby. And that is the promise that I was carrying. Or it could mean that the kindness, in other words, the cooperation of Detective Sithole with the complainants and accusers, is going to cause great difficulty for the complainant and the accuser. The Holy Spirit refers me to another name, and that name is Sibonelo Nzima, who is an ex-employee of the mailroom. And that was the entity that helped me with the first publication of 7750 Living Prophetic Reality. Sibonelo means example. So it refers to an example or something that can be seen, and it can be shown, and it can come as a revelation or a manifestation of something significant. Sibonelo normally refers to a good example of something that has been made manifest. The word Nzima, as I already explained, means that there is something that is potentially very difficult and strenuous that is about to be revealed. I already said that, as according to Romans 8:28, God has a way of taking the very thing or the circumstance that was created by the enemy to degrade you, to humiliate you, to embarrass you, to even kill or to destroy you. And he turns it around and causes it to work to your advantage. So Romans 8:28 in the Passion says, so we are convinced that every detail of our lives is continually woven together for good, for we are his lovers, who have been called to fulfill his designed purpose. Having determined our destiny ahead of time, he called us to himself and transferred his perfect righteousness to everyone he called. And those who possess his perfect righteousness, he co-glorified with his Son. I hear the voice of Whitney Houston singing Same Script, Different Cast. And she sings the song with Deborah Cox, as a play of two women fighting over a man. Clearly, what the Lord means to communicate is that, as happened with the Streisand effect in the Jacob Zuma spear painting, and just as events unfolded and progressed in the case of the DG of Equatorial Guinea and his sex tapes, so it is with these cases and statutory complaints that I have lodged with the appropriate bodies. Now, what this means is that I don't have to do anything. It means the Holy Spirit has already sprung into action, and he is going to cause some things to happen by his hand. Right, and let me leave that there for now.